Hello there! Welcome back! So, what are we going to be doing today? Well, you can see that we're standing here in our work area, and across from us, we have done this. Oh my goodness, it's a hole. So, what we're going to do is we are going to fix up this empty area across from our chest storage area and build an auto smelter. Now, there was a lot of designs we could go with for the auto smelter. There's, of course, pure hopper designs. There's rail designs. There's ones with complicated redstone and timers. All kinds of stuff. But we're going to keep it really simple. We're going to stick to just some redstone, a little bit, and then hoppers. Because we don't need a speed smelter or anything. I mean, we need something that's going to work well when we're working in our city up above and around it. So as long as it's going, then that's fine. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put this together and we're going to match up, of course, our design. So we'll strip our wood here. There we go. And the goal is to make it sort of self-sufficient. So in addition to, of course, putting in the furnaces, putting in the hoppers to feed the furnaces, things like that, we are also going to add in a kelp farm right over here behind this wall. And that will allow us to have an unlimited supply of fuel, because kelp blocks actually burn better than coal. And so that is our goal today, is to put all of that together. So right now I'm just kind of outlining the floor. I just finished digging the room out, of course. We're matching it up to our chest room across the hall, so that we just have a similar design. It's easy, it looks good, you know, all that good stuff. And then, of course, we're going to be putting in our furnaces and everything else we need. So let's see, we need to go 3 high, which means we're going to have to dig out this more. Right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, thought so. But that's okay. So we'll come in here. The main reason I want the auto smelter too, besides just getting the fuels, then we can just cook up things, whether it's the baked potatoes that we're eating, or it's stone from cobble, or cracked stone, or maybe we want to smelt a bunch of netherrack, since we've been collecting hordes of it in our nether highway expansions. We could smelt that up into bricks to make nether brick stone, whatever else, but just so that we have it, and of course to smelt our gold and iron as well. That would be important. So we're going to go ahead and clear this out. There we go. And now we'll put in our red terracotta. One too many. There we go. And we'll do the same thing over here. There we are. All right, cool. Just temporarily, we'll just put some torches up here, just so it's lit there. All right, so now we are good to go for the basics. So we're going to do 2 things. We want a pure fuel smelter, and we're going to put it over here. So I'm figuring that we'll go ahead and let me see, what should we use? We could use some polished and then some stone maybe. So if we were to take this and we just want we don't need a whole lot, probably 3 will do fine. So if we were to feed this in like that, and then this is the tricky part, of course. We actually can't do it like that, because not only do we need to fill them, but we also need to empty them, drain them out. So let's rethink that. Probably what we're going to be doing then is have a couple across. So we'll put one there, and one there. Now we can put our wall up. All right. Now we will take... We're going to be using some item elevators, using the new water mechanics, things like that as well, as we go. But I'm thinking, let's just put those there temporarily. And if we come in and we'll feed these straight back, and I'm wondering if I was to take some acacia doors. Yeah, see, that would look good, right? Yeah, we're smart. We can do this. So let's get some more. We probably need to make some more logs first, or planks. There we go. Alright, kind of gives it a little grill effect, right? We'll be able to do the same thing up above with our feeders. Yeah. So, dup, dup, dup. There, see, that looks pretty good, right? Simple, easy design. Alright. So we'll have our kelp. We're going to come in back here. We're going to do a little farm. Obviously, it will have some pistons to break the kelp once it reaches a certain height. A water elevator to, well, actually we don't need the water elevator. Everything's going to float. So we'll just flow everything into a hopper, which will come straight in to these from back here. Now we'll have to rearrange these a little bit to make sure that it'll feed into all of them, but that's okay. We'll do that in just a second. In fact, we'll probably raise these up one so they're up above. We've got to remember how hoppers work here. We can do this. It's not complicated. There we go. So if we feed in here, here, and here, and then we're coming from this direction. So right here is where we're going to put in our feeder. Alright, let's just stick a torch back here for now. And there. Da, da, da. Another thing I'm thinking of making later on too is maybe like an auto brewer. I used to be able to build some pretty big ones, but I haven't done it for a long time, so I don't know how the changes in Minecraft will affect it. Alright, so here's our elevators, or our conveyor for the hopper. So what's going to happen is that the kelp is going to flow down a water path right here, and it'll flow over here, pop into these hoppers because the water will end, and so it'll just pop into the hopper and go right over. Now we could actually price speed this up. Now that I'm thinking about it, we could probably do away with all of these. No, actually we're going to want that because kelp's going to clump together, so if it only goes into one hopper all the time, then yeah. Alright, so never mind. Just ignore me, I'm rambling. And there. Okay, so obviously we're going to have to dig up and prepare the water canal. There we go. And we'll go ahead and just grab a sign here so that the water will stop right there. Okay. So that means that our kelp farm will need to push the kelp into this trough. Alright, so let's get some water. Let's go ahead and set that part up. I believe we have a bucket of water in this chest. I could be wrong. I was wrong, but there are iron bars. There's a crafting table, which means we can make buckets. How about that? I need to name my birds too. Any suggestions? I was thinking of naming one like Pepper, and I have another one. I could name it Salt. You know? Not sure why. It just sounds good. Alright, so here's our water. We'll come up here. Let's go ahead and seal this off. We'll have to make our way around here, but just to show you what's going to happen is that the water is going to flow in the opposite direction because you didn't place it all the way over. There we go. So, okay, we need to come one over. I didn't measure. Oh, there we go. So any items come into this water will flow right down. So like if I was to throw my bucket in, there it gets sucked up by the hopper. Now that means our kelp is going to come from this direction. And we can actually, yeah, we can take it all the way. Now, I don't have to mine out this stone, but I like making things, you know, so it's like it was built and not just carved out, right? All right. Now we're going to need signs up here. And I should have kept that bucket so that we could do this, but that's okay. And one more. And do I have another? I do. Just enough signs. How about that? I did not count those, by the way. All right. Alright, so what's going to happen is that water will flow straight down, and that's where our goodies are going to be. Then we have this. We'll have to temporarily fix it. There we go. So it's going to pour in. So we'll fill all that with water, and then we'll dig down. So let's remove that for now. And let's go ahead and hop up there and dig this trough. Alright. So this is where the kelp's going to grow. And once it reaches this level, this height, pistons that are going to be right here will break it, which means we'll need to put in an observer, and we'll put the observer right here. So we'll need some redstone behind. Okay. Kind of doing this the hard way, you know, I'm building it from top down. Alright, so we'll put pistons here. We gotta go craft them really quick, and we'll put our observer here. And then every time the kelp, which will grow from way down there, reaches this level, the pistons will activate, break it. There'll be water here that will push all the goodies over there, which will flow down into there and then over into the furnaces to smelt up. And they will feed themselves their own fuel and then convey the fuel to the other furnaces that we're going to be using. So I'm going to set this up, and then we'll be right back. Why, hello there, and we are back. So it's been a number of hours, and we have done a ton of work and experimentation, and here is what we have come up with. We have our treasury room, or ore room with smelter. So you can see we've got the same design. We've built it out. The first thing we have is we have a smelter just cooking up kelp into using blocks, and it takes it and it puts it into this chest so that we can craft it. Then we would place the fuel back in here. We got to put some signs, and the fuel will come over to our furnaces, and we can start burning stuff like this iron. Okay, and we could do that all along here. Then what's going to happen is it's going to go from the smelter through a system and deposit it into one of these chests. We can also manually input items by sticking them in this chest. You can see it's counting down, and if we go to our coal bin, it'll start counting up as soon as it reaches there. There might be other things in the line. So how did all of this work? Well, let's start out with the kelp farm. Yes, we won't go back there yet. We're going to start with the kelp farm. So I still have to plug this back up, but over here we have a kelp farm. It's growing up. Once it reaches up to the top, which is up there, we have an observer somewhere up there. There it is. It'll activate all of the, yes, you know, pistons, which will break the kelp. The kelp will then, if we come up here, pop into here. You can see it's almost about to. If this one grows, it'll catch it. And it's going to flow this way. And it's going to go into these hoppers and over to the kelp smelter. So that's how that one works. Now once it reaches there, we have our other smelters. So the first thing that we have, we come back over here, is the workings. So the kelp, of course, just comes up right here, and we'll go into the smelter there, and then into the chest. Now we'll place the fuel, which will take it back here, put it into all of these furnaces. And we also will have a manual input, which we haven't built, but we've got it ready up here so that we can feed the furnaces manually as well from another chest. So I still have to put that in, but I ran out of hoppers. Now, once it goes through the smelters, it's going to go through this line of hoppers to this item elevator. This elevator is just a dropper elevator. It's going to take it up to that hopper there, and that hopper is going to bring it over, whoops, if I can get in the door, back here. It's that line up there. And that's going to come over to here. Complicated, right? And just feed into this chest, which then goes into the item sorter, which is right here. Now we also, that other chest, our input chest for the item sorter, is right here. And that feeds also into a dropper elevator, which you can see going off here, and feeds up into this chest over here, or right down here, and same into this chest, and back into our item sorter. And the item sorter is fairly simple. If you've never built one, it just requires a hopper going into the chest. I have double chests, so really you'd start right here, but we'll start down at the bottom. Above that, we have a hopper going into nothing, and then our feeder hoppers, which go into a chest at the end for trash or anything that doesn't fit into the item sorter. There's a torch here, a repeater here, redstone on top with a comparator that faces out, and then inside each of these hoppers you have a named item, 4 of them, and then whatever item goes into the chest. In this case, it's gold ingots. The item droppers are or dropper elevators are real simple. Just a hopper feeds into this bottom dropper, goes into this comparator, which goes into this block, into these repeaters, which then powers the dropper, which pushes it up to the next one. And then we have these torches here, this torch elevator. There's one there. that goes up, and if it's even, you start here. If it's odd, you'll start at the bottom, like this one would be down here. But we have even, so it starts here and it just goes up. You can see there's one there, one here, and so forth, and then these on the end power the droppers, which allows it to go up. And that is today's redstone tutorial. It took several hours to set this all up because at first, as you know, at the beginning of the video, we were just going to do a smelter. But then I decided, okay, well, if we're smelting up the items, let's go ahead and sort it. And so I've got all of this here, all these chests, all of our valuables, you could say, except for the diamonds and emeralds, which we keep in our ender chest and shulkers. But we have everything else here. We may expand it for like glowstone and some other things, gunpowder and whatnot. But for now, it's just this. So it's a great system. You know, right now we're not burning any kelp because it needs to harvest again. But you can see we have been collecting. We've got a bunch here. But it's been a lot of work, well worth it. Few little tidbits. I've got to put up some signs. As you saw, I got to connect another chest into this so I can auto feed these if I want. Because right now it's just feeding fuel through this chest, so we need one more chest to feed them actually, so we don't have to just enter stuff manually. But other than that, it's been a great build. We've got a lot done today. So I want to thank you for joining me and watching. You know, if you, hopefully my little tour there at the end was enough for you to see the redstone, so you can pause it and create this yourself if you need to. But if you do have comments or questions, just go ahead and ask down below, and I'll try to get back to them. And of course, you know, there's a lot of tutorials out there. This really isn't a tutorial. This is just what I'm doing for my base. So we've expanded some storage. Now in our next video, we can go up and we can build some more on our city with another structure. So I want to thank you again today for watching, everybody. Appreciate your time. Give it a like, share, you know, let other people know the videos are here. Be, you know, very thankful of that. And have a great day. And of course, remember, it's just a game. Have fun.